Then we will get going in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright everyone, welcome. This is Railcoon with the awesome JP McDaniel alongside. We are beginning with our first match of the StarTale IMS Invitational. Of course, this is going to be a completely in-house tournament with the team StarTale. They came in second place in the GSTL, an excellent performance. If you haven't seen the finals, it's worth the ticket alone just to watch the finals on VODs. It was amazing. But we do see that Bomber is going to be our green Terran in the bottom left-hand corner. Curious, the red Zerg in the bottom left. My overlay apparently crashed, so if you could take over for just a second while I get that back up, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, not a problem. Actually, you guys probably saw Curious play last night if you watched the Code A games. I believe he was Huck's opponent, so you might be pretty familiar with him as the Zerg player here. He's going to be getting his gas. Ooh, a little bit of a extractor trick there. And of course, you do know Bomber as in the GSL Team League. He put on quite a show. If you haven't watched those games, please go do so. They were actually incredible. Every game that he played in was some very, very exciting stuff. And it looks like we are going to be seeing a Rax put down here at the ramp. Nothing too crazy. And one of the things that we're probably going to be talking a lot about in this cast is the fact that we are playing on a map that, at least in my experience with it, I really do not know that much about it. So I'm going to be very interested. It's going to be very interesting to see how these players actually adapt to playing on a new map, because I'm not sure how much experience they have on them. We'll have to wait and see, though. And it looks like both players pretty much playing standard. We're going to see Hatch first here for Curious, as he's going to take his natural quite easily. And we do not see Gas just yet. We see a second Rax being added on for Bomber, so we're going to see a 2 Rax opener here from the Terran player, which is not too uncommon really in this matchup.
You see it a decent amount just when a player wants to apply some pressure early on in the Zerg, especially if he's relatively certain that he's going to fast expand, which with these rush distances he kind of can. Especially in the cross positions. It doesn't look like a big map, but when you're in cross, it actually takes quite a long time for your workers to get all the way to your opponent's base. But be interesting to see how he pulls this off. This is kind of a Mocker Rax, kind of not. With this sort of an opening, you can apply a lot of pressure and then very easily back off, drop a command center or a refinery, and still go into a pretty reasonable mid-game.
He actually lifted the Rax onto the low ground, and the drone of Curious, the Curious drone that he is, did in fact see that. So he knows that the 2 Rax opener is now coming a little bit faster, actually. I love that play from Bomber, making that Rax up on the high ground and then just lifting it right down to the low ground. It's going to allow him to get more Marines into his opponent's base that much faster. Lings just now coming up. We see 4 in production, a ton of drones being transferred over to the natural, and now we see 6 Lings in production, as well as a spine crawler going down. It looks like Bomber is going to kind of wait a little bit with that first Marine, wait for the other 2, or excuse me, yes, the other 2, and then the 2 SVs to add in and then push in right here as the drones have been pulled, and a bunker is going down right next to that spine crawler.
Sorry, people are being loud, but yes, you can see that Bomber is actually pushing in here. He does have the bunker on the way. The spine crawler is very close to finishing. If that can actually complete, that will help Curious out a whole lot in being able to hold this off. So you can see spine crawler does finish. Bomber was not quite able to finish the bunker, and with the spine crawler being done, he is forced to back off. You can see him just moving his barracks back up into his main base, actually moving him very far away. Not even going to try and set up a wall, as he did keep most of his Marines alive. He's very confident that he will be able to defend this expansion and just move a little bit more into the mid-game here against Curious.
Yeah, I mean, this is typically what you see from Terran players, although it of course, doesn't seem like they did that much damage with that attack. If you look at the Zergling count, he's now up to 10. Of course, usually you want to see Zerg stick around 4 in the beginning, and if you can get them to use that extra larva, those extra minerals, which could be drones that early on, it's going to really put you a little bit ahead, and pretty much everything counts here. As the command center is finished at the natural, and it's going to be warping, or morphing, as I should say, into the orbital command. And we see a double tech lab on 2 of those racks, immediately getting stim. Not getting combat shield just yet, because of course he does not have the gas to do so, and nothing else being added on.
Curious is actually attacking straight up the ramp, and this is why I was kind of wondering about him moving the barracks straight up into his main, but you can see he is able to hold that off with only losing 1 SCV, really well defended. One of the reasons players do this is because sometimes when you have a wide open ramp, it kind of baits a Zerg player into overcommitting into attacking your ramp early on in the game. And after losing those Zerglings, like you're just saying, he doesn't want to have to make Zerglings this early in the game, but now he has to rebuild all those Zerglings. That's going to be even less drones here at the start of the game. So I don't know if this was kind of a mind game by Bomber, trying to make it look like he was vulnerable when he was not, but it definitely worked out in his favor.
Now, I don't mean to alarm you, Relkun, but this Zelnaga tower in the center of the map is actually on fire.
That Zergling.
Not sure how that Ling is staying alive. He must have some very sturdy armor. And I also like these destructible rocks next to each player's natural, where if you take those down, it's going to make the ground trip a lot faster to your opponent's base. So we'll probably see that a little bit later on in the game. We see Bomber actually using the supply depots here to wall off at his choke at the natural. He's going to have to add on probably 3 more. But that's going to be very susceptible to Baneling. Banelings can basically just tear through depots, but we'll have to see if that's what actually, just as I say that, the Baneling nest has gone down as well as the lair about halfway complete. So I think once Curious sees that, he might just try to Baneling bust it, but it looks like he might not be able to do anything like that because Bomber is moving out with a big Bioforce right now.
Yeah, and once again, in the position that Bomber is in, he probably almost would want Curious to try and Baneling bust that. So I'm wondering if he's again trying to bait something here out of Curious, as he is going to poke forward with these Marines and Marauders. You can see that some Zerglings are trying to move around for a flank, but Bomber is completely aware of that. He's probably not going to overcommit with those Zerglings in behind him. He doesn't know how many are in front. He's actually going to go straight up towards the ramp. Zerglings are going to completely pincer him. These Banelings are just a little bit too slow. Drones having to come off the line. The Spinecrawler is doing quite a lot of damage, but Bomber is able... not able, excuse me, to do any real damage there. And now Curious with a lot of Zerglings running straight across that ramp. Those supply depots looking a lot more juicy now that he just killed Bomber's entire army pretty much. If you look around, there's not that many forces hanging around to defend. So now if he goes for the Baneling bust, this could get a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, it looks like that is what Curious is going to do now, as 5 Banelings have been morphed. And I really got to say...
That wall isn't closed!
Oh wow, I didn't even notice that is not closed there on the left. But I gotta say, I was really impressed at how many, or few, drones actually died in that last attack. He's now sitting at 50, but enough about that. Here come the Banelings going right towards the depots, taking out 3 of them with ease, but there's not too many Lings here. They're gonna try to get in, but the Marines will make a tight wall there. And let's see if that did supply block him. He's sitting at 64 of 62, and we're just gonna see him wall off yet again.
Yeah, he does have Baneling speed on the way, and he's just sort of poking around going, well, that didn't really do a whole lot. There's an Overseer looking in the main, and he sees, oh my god, that is a lot of barracks. Because there's 2 more down here at the natural. This is going to be really tough for him to bust in on without speed on the Banelings. Because not only does he need to break open those depots, with that many barracks out, he is going to need Banelings for the Marines as well. Really nice job contaminating this engineering bay. Just about to finish the +1 weapons upgrade. That is a really good delay. It looks like Bomber's wall is still open. There we go. He's going to shut that with a depot, but looks like he's going to poke out again. Bomber looking to be very aggressive. And he has absolutely no idea how many Banelings are in the center of the map. There could be 30 Banelings right now, but Curious has been kind of teching right now, so he's going to be able to get away with actually moving out.
Yeah, I mean, that is an absurd number of racks this early, especially off 2 base. And we have, let's see, I think 6 reactors, so he's going to be pumping out a huge amount of supply, already up to 108, 142. He does have the depots ready. And I don't know how this is going to go. He's going to have some pretty good Marine spread. We have some Roaches out. Here come some initial Banelings, looking like, wow, only about 3 Marines died to those Banelings. A couple more do exist, but see how many he can get with the rest here. A nice split, as only a couple, well, a little bit more than a couple, but it doesn't much matter when you have as many racks with reactors on them. We're just going to see a stream of Marines coming out of Bomber space all the way over to Curious's, and he's going to have to reinforce as fast as possible. We do see quite a lot of Roaches and some more Banelings being added on here. And what is Bomber up to?
He's looking for a 3rd base, but if you look at the positioning here of Curious, it's up where he hasn't quite found it yet, but this lone Marine is going to see it. I mean, if you look at the production tab, it's quite ridiculous. Bomber has, at any given point, 18 Marines in production. This is just full-time Marine production. He's just saying gas, that's just for making reactors, right? And it's pretty insane, his production right now. He can eat a lot of banelings and be completely fine. Now these Marines that were way up in the top left have set up a flank on Curious completely unintentionally. He's going to stim, get into position, and completely pincer Curious. Some banelings come in from behind, but still doing a lot of damage, taking out a couple roaches. Now there's no more banelings on the field. Curious.
Look at the amount of Marines coming out of his base. That is absurd. I mean, let's go into the production tab. He has 12 Marines producing 16, at any given time. That is, that's actually insane. Not mining any gas whatsoever, just sticking strictly. Well, actually, no, he's put FCVs back on gas in his main, but no refineries at his natural just yet. Still on 2 base, but man, that is a lot of Marines coming out of all those racks.
Yeah, and he did delay the third by Curious for quite a bit. You can see Curious going for this more exposed third base here. It is a gold base that only has 5 patches on it. It's kind of a different thing. It's really open, it's really easy to take at the same time, and it doesn't quite as rewarding as usual. But you can see Bomber using a stim there, all of his Marines really low health. Banelings coming in here and destroying so many Marines, but there's just so many more reinforcing. That even though Curious blew up a good amount of Marines, more than you usually see at this level of play, Bomber doesn't care. As long as he doesn't losing his entire army, he's fine to keep pushing forward, stimming up, taking out the roaches with those upgrades. As you can see, he has 1-1, and Curious is at 0-0. So just this constant flood of Marines is doing so much damage. More banelings blowing up all those Marines. But if you look, there's a whole nother army flooding out of Bomber's base. So the pressure will be back on soon. And he delayed the third base again.
Yeah, he has started to add on a bunch of Marauders now. And that's simply because of the amount of roaches he's seeing from Curious. And looks like we're going to see another push here. The Marauders will be in the front. That's what you want to do when you're going up against Baneling runs. You want to have them tank, or to the best of their ability, all of the Banelings, and then let your Marines do the rest of the work. And here we go. Let's see if the spread actually works. Looks like this attack will be completely foiled, and more Marines looks like they're just going to give up their life, or maybe stim in, as there's not too many roaches left. But check out the supply. We're at 92 for the Zerg player, 105 for the Terran player Bomber. And here's another engagement. Looks like the roaches are going to be able to chase down the bio forces here of the Terran player. And wow, I think Curious might be coming back here. It depends, though. If we go and check out the main base of the Terran player and also the expansion, he's going to be pretty close to mined out.
Oh, he's going to catch these Banelings right while they're morphing. A bunch of them are morphing right in front of the Bomber, and Curious might actually have been able to finish those Banelings because of those roaches coming in to reinforce, but he did cancel them. That's going to be a really big mistake, because now without those Banelings, he's got nothing to stop Bomber pushing in. You can see all of his forces are completely melting. The production tab is still completely full of Marines and Marauders, and it looks like this natural might go down, and if it does, that will be game right there.
Drones have been pulled, and this is going to be Curious's last stand here on this map as more units are streaming across. 4 Marauders and 12 Marines coming out every production cycle. A lot of roaches still left, but they're going to fall very fast to those 1-1 bio units of the Terran player Bomber, and almost all the roaches have been killed. Let's pop open that GG, actually, not even going to pop over the production tab. Bomber's going to take game 1 here on Neo Enigma over Curious, the Zerg player.
So how many reactors was that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, he lifted off a couple of them. So
yeah, he added on like 2 tech labs there towards the end once he saw all the roaches.
But still, 5 reactors there at the end of the game. Completely ridiculous amount of production there from Bomber. So give us a second to load up the next game, as we will be moving on to test.